This week's episode of the Living Outrageously podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. For a 100% free audiobook of your choice, visit audibletrial.com/LOP.
Dudes, welcome to the Living Outrageously podcast. This is the show where we teach you how to stop living a boring life and start living outrageously. My name's Dave Thompson. That is Matt the freaking man Kelly. And this show for passionate, creative and intelligent people who want to step up and take their place, make their dent in the universe. Matt the freaking Kelly. Impossible is an opinion. Dude, today we are blowing minds wide open.
Dave, one wasn't enough. Those of you who are watching right now and watched last week will go, you guys haven't changed your shirts. And it's not because we didn't change for a week and we're sitting in the exact same location as we did last week. It's because we are so excited, okay, and so passionate and so ready that, man, we had to come back and we had to do another one. And that's it.
Absolutely. Well as that, I'll be away for a number of days running in the bush. I'm doing the
Can we talk about this? Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, so I'm heading down to Sydney. We've got the beach handball camp coming up. My brother and I did make the Aussie team, so we're going to the World Champs in July for that. That's in Oman in the Middle East. And right smack bang in the middle of that training camp is the ultra marathon that I've been training for. So I'll be running 100 Ks on the Saturday, beach handball Thursday, Friday, running the 100 on the Saturday, beach handball Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Hold on. Dave Thompson, you just said you are running 100 Ks. Can we just mention here what environment in which you are running 100 kilometers?
Oh, in the Blue Mountains, west of Sydney. So that's another part of the race, and the reason I signed up is because it's one of the most hectic races of ultra running there is. There's like over 4,000 meters of vertical. So I think from 60 to 70 Ks, it's like this. Jeez. So it's a real mountain man's race. It's going to be hectic.
That is amazing.
But I love it. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. It's going to be so awesome.
That is so good. That is so good, Dave Thompson. Living outrageously all the way through the Blue Mountains. That is awesome. But Dave.
Yes.
I've got a question for you. I had a question for you last week. I've got a question for you this week. Are you ready?
Yes.
Dave. What if your emotional sloth was causing you physical pain?
Matt Kelly, that's quite profound.
Think about it. What if... I use the word sloth there. Okay? It's a sneaky little push of the word sloth in that sentence. What if your emotional sloth is causing you physical pain?
So what you're saying there, Matt Kelly, is that if you're not emotionally 100%, not emotionally fit, those emotions could quite possibly be manifesting in the physical body as pain, injuries, etc., etc.
Very, very easily. Very easily. Can I give you an example straight off the top, Dave?
Yes, please. What are we talking about? What sort of things are you talking about?
So for myself personally, I can easily, and I've recognized this, I can easily get very worked up, very stressed, quite anxious, right? When I'm doing a whole lot of things, when I want everything to sort of work out exactly as I've planned, I get stressed out. I might have something big coming up, I get stressed out. I know I do, and I'm working on it, right? That's cool, right? Because I know what it is I'm working on. When I get stressed out, it's not just the stress that affects me. It's not just in my head where I'm like, man, I'm so stressed about this. I start to feel sick. Stomach, not well. Head, not well. Headaches. Get tired. Okay, don't want to do what I'm doing because I'm so stressed out. I just want to all to work and I'm freaking out and I feel sick and I feel uncomfortable and it's not good. What happens when... Here's another example. Now, if you've ever been involved in a car accident, and I'm talking about a very minor car accident, you've felt this, right? You're in a car accident, very minor, no one's hurt. You immediately feel sick. Immediately. Not because you're hurt, but because it's that immediate worry, that pain, that like, man, I don't know, like this is terrible, I'm stressed out, I'm scared, like what's going to happen, everything. Like all those emotions that spin through your head cause you to feel sick, cause you to feel upset and anxious in your head, and physically unwell.
Well, what about public speakers, man? Have you ever heard someone say, man, I hate public speaking so much that it makes me sick?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So, all right.
Dave, people it's not uncommon for people to throw up when they're nervous. Literally, like when they're anxious about something, be physically sick. Not because they're physically sick, but because they are so anxious, they are so nervous. Their emotional state is taking such a powerful hold of them. It needs to release in some way, and that release is pain, hurt, being physically sick, and that is scary. That is really scary that you can allow your emotional state to get to a point where it's dictating how you physically feel. And it happens to me. It totally happens to me.
Do you want to know what we're talking about here, Matt Kelly? Because I've been doing some research into this area because it fascinates me, man. It fascinates me. And
Dave, I am ready to be enlightened.
well, let's do it, Matt Kelly. Let's have a little learning. Come and sit on my knee, would you? Maybe not. Maybe not. That's a bit freaky naughty.
I don't know how to take that. Yeah,
It's freaking naughty. Anyway, what we're talking about here is the school of medicine, the school of thought called psychosomatic illnesses, which is emotional conditions that manifest in the physical body. Now, it's not very popular. And research has shown that only about 15% of people would accept a psychosomatic diagnosis. All right, so that's a big, crazy word. What does it mean? Basically, you have this condition because you've got something in your head. Only about 15% of the population would accept that because, man, in society, there's a massive stigma against how many times you hear people say, oh, it's all in your head. Oh, sort yourself out. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
Isn't that all the time? What about if you walk down the street tomorrow and said, I go to a psychologist or I go to a psychiatrist?
Dave, is there something wrong with you? Why are you doing that?
Would that increase your social standing? No. And you know what else? Medical doctors, traditional medical doctors, they won't believe it at all because, well, one, their business relies on the drugs that they prescribe and things like that. And, the surgeons that you go and see, of course they're going to say, you go and see a surgeon, what's a surgeon going to recommend? Surgery? I wonder. So what we're talking about here is, and this episode is especially valuable for people that have always been sick or have tried everything for a particular condition and just nothing's worked, or they get sick, do something and it gets fixed, but then another type of sickness turns up. And then they fix that, but then another type of sickness turns up. And then they fix that and another type of sickness turns up. This episode is also for the people that are absolutely at the top of their game and who are looking to just bust through and go to just find... We know there's no limits, Matt Kelly, but people that are just looking like where is that? Like, surely there must be a limit.
If you keep searching for that limit, you'll only continue to soar higher, and that is amazing.
Exactly. So what we're really talking about here is the relationship between the unconscious mind and the conscious mind. Now, before we go into that, I just want to say how this is a slightly different episode on the LOP, isn't it? Like, we haven't done so much on health, but I think this is a very important topic. And the reason I think it's so important is because samurai, they've got to be in perfect health. Well, to be a truly effective samurai, you've got to be healthy, don't you?
Absolutely. If you are feeling physically held back, you can't strive for more.
If the sloth comes, and then another sloth comes, and another sloth comes, and another sloth, and then there's sloth all over you, you got to come out sweet. You got to come out aggressive, man.
Yeah,
and if you don't have the energy and the health to bring it when those sloth come a knocking, then you can just imagine what fate awaits you. But if you do have that energy, well, they always say champions, they get knocked down, but the champions, they get up the fastest. How fast are you going to get up? So that's why we wanted to talk about this episode today, because this is just another aspect of achieving that optimum health and really fully owning samurai status. How do you like that, Matt Kelly?
I love that, Dave. I love that. I've got a question for you. You mentioned earlier about how, and I'm learning here as well, Dave. You made a point about how only what percentage was it that of people that wouldn't accept?
Oh, only 15% of the population. This has been in studies.
Yeah.
Only 15% of the population would accept a psychosomatic diagnosis, or a diagnosis that your condition is as a result of an emotional state.
So I've got a theory on that, right? And I'm sure there's a range of influences that have caused society as a majority to believe that, right? There's a number of influences. But I've got this theory in my head that I've sort of come up with, and is that partly because people want something to blame that isn't immediately in their own control. If my arm hurts because I injured it 5 years ago, okay, if I admit that it's in my head, it's my fault that I haven't worked on it to the point of fixing it. Instead of saying when it happens, I have to take the necessary, I have to do the required steps to rehabilitate my arm after an incident, right? So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, are people looking for something that appears to be outside of their control to blame?
Yes.
And therefore not make it their own fault, not make it their own responsibility?
I would say yes. I would say yes. I think the vast majority, definitely not people on the podcast.
No.
We all live at cause, right? We create our future. But for the majority of the population that live at effect, it's awesome. Oh, yeah, it was this thing happened to me and now I'm done. Like, oh, I stuffed my Achilles heel in 1979 and now I can't walk.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And it's like, so I want to reference a point of in your past, Dave, where you did some severe damage to your knee. And I remember the insane levels of like depth you went into to learn exactly how to repair it, exactly how to rehabilitate it, and the hours that you spent doing that. And I can't imagine that everybody went to that length.
No.
Everybody who had the same injury, the same surgeries, I can't imagine that everyone went to the same length. And those people are the people who sit back and go, oh, I'll never play that game again. I'll never do that again. I'll never be able to because of my knee.
So it's exactly right. Attitude and the state of mind that you're in has a large impact on the medical result that you would get. The whole time through that surgery, I was like, this is going to be the most amazing knee reconstruction, and I'm going to heal quickly, and I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to be back on the rugby field in battle in 9 months. And it's going to happen. It was the attitude. It was this is what I stand for. This is what I want, and I'm fucking taking it. Same with Lance Armstrong, man. If you've ever read his book, it's not about the bike. Go out and get it. Check out his attitude when he had cancer. He's sitting there in his deathbed, and his attitude is, no, this is not beating me. I'm getting back on the bike. And then he went on to win multiple Tour de France's.
Yeah, it's amazing. That is an amazing story.
So, Matt Kelly, I want to add into this just a little bit of context. So we talked earlier, and I did get interrupted by myself, about the relationship between the unconscious brain and the conscious brain here. So let's think about a scenario. So, all right, we're talking about emotional pain manifesting in the body as physical pain. Let's say you have some sort of emotional pain as a result of maybe a traumatic event in your life, or let's say you're holding on to some anxiety over a particular issue. Well, that could manifest in the body as, let's just say, and one very common one is carpal tunnel. Let's say the emotional pain manifests in the body as carpal tunnel. Now, what's happening here, the actual physical injury is an attempt to distract the conscious brain.
Okay.
to distract the conscious brain from what is actually the root cause. So the root cause of the pain is this emotion that this person's holding on to. Now, instead of the person owning that emotion, saying, yes, like this is something I need to release, the conscious brain has been distracted. Oh no, it's not me. It's not me. It's my arm. It's my arm.
Yeah.
Fix my arm. So what happens is the person runs off to the doctor, to the surgery, and the doctor says, oh, you have carpal tunnel. I know a surgery for that. We need to just snip this little nerve. So they run along, they get the surgery, the nerve is snipped, and then the person's like, wow, look at my arm. It's fixed. It's fixed. But, Matt Kelly, there's a little thing called the symptom imperative, which states that if you can go out and fix your carpal tunnel, okay, you have not yet addressed the root cause of the condition. The root cause being that anxiety or whatever the emotion is in your head. So what happens is, now that this has been fixed, the pain will manifest in some other way in the body, often at a more serious level, often in the form of cancer, often in the form of autoimmune diseases. How freaking scary is that?
So because you haven't addressed the reason for the initial pain, the initial discomfort, okay, and you've done the Band-Aid solution, the temporary like snip that, but haven't addressed the big issue. Okay, so then your subconscious goes, you need to address this. I need to present something more serious to you to bring this to your awareness, and therefore gives you a more serious. I almost want to call it a symptom, because it's a symptom of what's happening in your head.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Matt Kelly, what about hypochondriacs who are always sick? Always sick. Do you know a hypochondriac who is emotionally stable and has no issues?
I don't know many people that have no issues, but sure.
I actually have I know someone who is a hypochondriac, and yes, they do have some things that they could deal with. So the whole point of this episode, Matt Kelly, and the research has shown this, and where am I getting all this from? Well, the Divided Mind book that we recommended in the last LOP. What they found... There you go. There you go. What they found, Matt Kelly, is that many common ailments are psychosomatic illnesses, e.g., their emotional pain manifesting in the body. You want to know some of them? Headache, migraine, back pain, shoulder pain, lower back pain, carpal tunnel, gastro, reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, plantar fasciitis. Dude, there's a long list of conditions.
Wow.
That
and has this list come from people who've suffered this, identified the root cause, and been able to address it and improve the situation because it was a symptom of the root cause, the emotional pain they were going through? Wow. So there's certainly so much there that we've heard in people all around us. Like, everyone knows someone who suffers multiple things on that list.
Absolutely, Matt Kelly. And you know what? Just on this point, some of my life coaching colleagues, they deal exclusively with the niche of they exclusively deal with people who want to release chronic pain. And they do so using some coaching techniques that I know as well. And it's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, wow.
It is phenomenal. People that have had chronic back pain for like 10 years, been on medication, tried all this stuff, and they just go through these simple techniques to release the emotions of anger or frustration or whatever it is. And in the course of half an hour, they're done.
Wow.
Dude,
small price to pay.
Saying,
yeah, wow.
The message here today is open your mind. Open your mind to what else could be out there.
So that's,
right? What other
Dave,
options?
Sorry, I was going to say, so that's really the steps, isn't it? That's the step. In almost every episode, we've got a sequence of questions or steps or processes that you ask yourself. So in this episode, the point is, what do you feel what is causing you distress? What part of you is uncomfortable? Have you ever, the only question you ask yourself today, go out to nature if you need to, is, what is causing...
Are you there, Matt Kelly?
I am here. I was actually waiting for you to jump in there, Dave. I thought you were going to take it over, but that's fine. I can roll.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, of course.
So, marvelous, because I can hardly hear you. But anyway,
that's why. Dave, the point I was making. Can you hear me now?
Just a little bit. But anyway, Matt Kelly, I've said just about everything I want to say, and I trust that your last point was a most sterling point.
Dave, if you can hear me now, my final point was, go out and ask yourself, could it be an emotional side effect? Could this physical side effect be as a result of my emotional state? Ask yourself that question. Just be open to asking it. That is the only point, that is the only question, that is the only step you have to take in this week's episode, is go out and just open yourself up to the potential of it. That's it. It's that simple. There you go, Dave.
Love it, Matt Kelly. Love it, love it, love it. So we're going to repeat last week's Audible tip. audibletrial.com/LOP. Go and get The Divided Mind. That's the book that talks all about this. Check it out, man. Check it out. It could change your life. Matt Kelly, do you have any more business for us?
I am good, Dave. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm going to go and start to work on my stress, because I am not well because of it, and that needs to be resolved immediately. It is the samurai's move would be to go, no, I will not be stressed. I will not accept those physical pains and side effects. It has to end, and that is what I'm going to do. Next time you viewers see me, I will not be a stressed out person. The end. Game over. No Sloth. Dead. Dave, man, what a pleasure it is to learn. I've learned so much in this episode. Amazing.
Awesome. Matt Kelly, I love it. And I look forward to, as I learn more about this, I'm going to get into it even more, because this is fantastic, man. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Life-changing, dare I say. Yeah. Life-changing. All right, Matt freaking Kelly, there's only one question left to ask, and that is, you won't let the sloth win, will you? Remember, if you want a boring job, go sit in a cubicle. My name's Dave Thompson. That's Matt the freaking man Kelly, and we will see you on the other side.
Peace out, everyone.